7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the John DiVito Show. This is a special birthday edition of the John DiVito Show. That's right. It's my birthday today, January 2nd, and I am 53 years old. I don't know what happened. I turned my back, and all of a sudden, next thing I knew, I was an old man. But that's okay. You know, I honestly would not want to go back to my 20s and do it all over again. So I'm kind of happy where I'm at and figured I'd just get on and do a brief show today and just talk a little bit about a few things I have going on. So it is Saturday, 10 past 2. And yes, you heard it correctly. I am 53 today. So happy birthday to me. You know, when you get to be my age, you don't really celebrate birthdays as much as you used to. It becomes one of those days where you just want it to pass and then you forget about it and move on and pretend like it never happened. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. But, you know, it's all good. I mean, for me, you know, life's good. You know, I'm happy where I am in my life. And that's such an important thing to, you know, to be happy and to, you know, to make a life for yourself where you feel fulfilled and things are pretty good. So, you know, all in all, I don't have any complaints. I mean, has everything in my life worked out exactly like I had planned it? Not really, but you know, sometimes, you know, God has a better plan for you. So I'm, you know, enjoying my birthday today. It's been a nice chill day at home and kind of a yucky day outside. It was very, it snowed a little bit last night and then it got wet. So we had slush today. It was one of those New England, you know, January days. But right now the sun's out and it's a pretty nice afternoon. So I figured I would get on and just record kind of a quick podcast today, just talking about my birthday, but then talking about, you know, the birthday present that I gave myself this year. You know, I, like so many other Americans and people all around the world, have been so enthralled with social media. You know, I go back to when they first came out with MySpace. I had done that briefly, and I remember I did not like it at all, and I got off it pretty quickly. And then, of course, the big Facebook craze, you know, hit the world and pretty much put an end to MySpace when Zuckerberg took over the world with Facebook. And, you know, Facebook's now kind of a platform for, you know, more older people, you know, people in their 30s, 40s, 50s and beyond. A lot of the younger population doesn't really like Facebook. They're more into, you know, TikTok, Instagram, you know, Snapchat, all the different things that they do. But, you know, social media has been kind of an amazing thing that has taken over the world. And honestly, in, you know, in some cases, in a lot of cases, I think it controls the way people live their lives. And you hear so many different names, you know, that people kind of assess to Facebook, like, you know, fake book and things like that. And, you know, some people look at it as being a platform that creates a lot of drama. Others look at it as, you know, people trying to show their most perfect life on Facebook, you know, to everybody else. And, you know, it causes people sometimes to feel socially isolated. It causes people to feel that maybe their life isn't stacking up as well as others. And, you know, I kind of get both sides of the argument. I mean, for me, you know, when I in the past have posted on Facebook, I mean, of course, I'm, you know, if my son drops an F-bomb at lunch, I'm probably not going to put that on Facebook. But if my son gets a big hit in a little league game or my daughter gets a, you know, a good report card or something like that, I mean, that's something you put on Facebook, not, you know, when your son has like a nervous breakdown in a department store or whatever. So, you know, I think a lot of times people get on Facebook and they like to post, you know, positive things about their family, positive things about their relationships. And I think that when you get on Facebook and other social media platforms, you kind of have to look at these as being just a very small snapshot into someone's life. And it doesn't really show, you know, the, I guess, completeness of a person's life where, you know, they have some good, they have some bad, everybody has problems. You know, everybody has issues in their day-to-day life. Everybody has challenges with their jobs and in their families. So, you know, Facebook for a lot of people is something where you just get on and put on those positive highlights. So I've always thought of it that way, but I think that others look at it sometimes as people just bragging or, you know, pretending that their life is better than other people's lives. And there's always been a lot of drama around Facebook for whatever reason. So, you know, I've been over the years a pretty active member on Facebook. I had, my personal site, and then I've done some, business sites and work sites for, different jobs that I've owned, worked on over the years. And also I've had some, some other pages that have been fun. Like I actually have a Facebook page for the John DeVito Show. A few other pages. I ran kind of a political page and a humor page called The Pussification of America. And that one ended up with like 70,000 followers. So that one got pretty popular. But what I did this year is, I just got tired of the social media. And I've done this before. I've, deactivated my Facebook account in the past because, I get caught up in drama and it just became, it was taking up too much of my life and too much of my time. So I would go in and deactivate. But I think the thing that really got me this year, now I am not going to turn this into, a Democrat versus Republican debate, a political debate. But the one thing I have seen this year that I haven't liked with Facebook, with Twitter, with YouTube, with TikTok, with a lot of these popular platforms is that the free speech that we're supposed to have in this country right now is being taken away from us. And I do believe, and maybe that's because I lean to the right, I do believe that people on the right have lost their ability to post what they want about their political, party, the people they support politically. And for whatever reason, I think Facebook kind of led the charge with independent fact checkers and, election reports if people question the results of the election. And, it seems that for whatever reason, Facebook has been worse than other platforms where they have literally been banning people left and right. And, if you go back into, I don't know, the 1950s, 1960s, whatever it may have been, I mean, you had book burning. You had books being burned, banned from like libraries and things like that because of content that people felt that wasn't appropriate. But, when we live in this country, the United States of America, we are supposed to be living in a free country. Whether you're Democrat, whether you're Republican, whether you're Libertarian, whether you're Green Party, whether you don't practice politics at all, we are supposed to be in a free country. And when you get on a platform that is deemed social media, you should be able to, speak your opinion and speak your stance on certain issues without being basically banned or deleted because the owners of that platform do not agree with your point of view. Now, don't get me wrong. There are things in this world that you should not say. And in my opinion, you could even say that you can't say. I mean, if you're going to get racist with someone, if you're going to get sexist with someone, if you're going to rip on someone for, the color of their skin or their sexual orientation, to me, those things are off limits. I mean, it's 2021. I almost said 2020, but it's 2021. And these things right now have no place in our society and they need to be gone. So if someone is using hate speech, if someone is bullying, I do think at that point it's appropriate for a platform to maybe look at that and put an end to that and suspend someone for inappropriate behavior in that way. But in my opinion, that's not what Facebook has been doing. Facebook has been censoring people's freedom of speech. And again, you may be a Joe Biden supporter, you may be a Donald Trump supporter, maybe you like Bernie Sanders. But if you own a platform and you have people who are supporters of the candidate that you did not support, you can't just go out and censor people when they are just, speaking their mind and giving their opinion and feeling that they have to speak up for a party or their candidate. Because I mean, that's exactly what Facebook has been doing. Mark Zuckerberg, he has been censoring the American people. And I know people who are being, suspended for a day, for 3 days, for 30 days, for 6 months. They post something that Facebook doesn't agree with, and it's either taken down or it's completely just they're shadow banned and then they're banned from the platform for something to that effect. And, it was funny this morning. I read a tweet on Twitter from Donald Trump, and I went to retweet his comment because I did like it. And I retweet things on Twitter from a lot of different people. It's not just, political people. Maybe sports people. I live in Massachusetts. I'm a big Patriots fan, a big Red Sox fan. If I see something that I like that I feel is motivational, I will forward that on, via retweet to the people that listen to my show who follow my platform on Twitter. And, so I saw something that President Trump had said earlier today, and I did decide to retweet that. And when I did retweet it, a warning popped up on Twitter saying that, again, election fraud hasn't been proven. It's a very rare thing. What is written here is controversial. Are you sure you want to retweet it? But really, the tweet really had nothing to do with election fraud. It was just something that was posted by Donald J. Trump, our president. And I looked to retweet it, and it was just kind of crazy that whole warning thing popped up, and I had to kind of click OK before I could actually retweet it. So, the United States of America is an amazing place. It really is. And, maybe to a point, I don't know, maybe we've been sold a bill of goods. Maybe we have never been as free as we have thought that we are. But I mean, the premise of the USA is amazing. You can come here to this country and, you can start with nothing. You can work hard. You can build something. You can build your life. You can build a career. You can achieve financial independence. And, it's not going to be handed to you. It's not easy. You're going to have to work for it. But you do have the ability here to start off with nothing and create a life where you produce something, you have financial independence, you make a difference in the lives of others. And the freedom that we have in this country is just amazing in that manner. And that's why we have so many people from other countries that want to come to the United States, because they know that maybe in the country they live in, they don't have the same opportunities that we have in this free country, the greatest country on earth, the country that really gives America or Americans a lot of freedom to achieve in their lives. So I think that, people like me and a lot of people, I think most people really hold very dear to them the freedoms that we have in this country. I mean, we have the freedom of speech. We should not be censored by any political organization. Now, in the old days, that meant maybe the newspapers, maybe that meant television news, maybe that meant radio, whatever. Today, life has changed and life is a lot different. And I would say that, again, at my age, 53 today, I mean, probably social media is where people get the majority of their news. I mean, I don't tune in to the television news nearly as much as I used to. And I mean, back in the day, I would read a newspaper, a physical newspaper every day. I don't do that now. I look on my phone, for news. And I think people now are turning to, digital forms of content, social media, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it may be, to get their news. So when you have platforms like Facebook, like Twitter, like TikTok, like YouTube, who are all, basically censoring, what's happening in this country, I mean, that is a very, very powerful, just, I don't know, but just a powerful censorship of what this country's all about. Because literally when they're censoring what people are saying and they're censoring the news that you can get, and they're not showing you both sides of what's actually happening, I mean, they are influences, influencing the way this country's being run. I mean, you hear that right now on Instagram, on TikTok. You have people whose career is to be an influencer. They have 25 million followers because they look good in a bikini and they can dance. And they end up, being able to influence people to buy certain products and things like that. I mean, if you think a certain person can be an influencer, but an entire platform cannot be, I mean, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, I mean, they are huge influences on the way American people think. And if the American people are only given one side of a story and they're not able to see both sides of a story, then, I mean, these platforms are doing an injustice to the American people, and they are silencing our freedom of speech. And it's scary. It's scary. I mean, in my opinion, something needs to be done to regulate this, and, American people, the Americans in this country, we deserve to have the right to speak our mind, as long as we're being respectful and we're not, using terrible words to describe different races of people and terrible words to describe people of different orientations. And we're not bullying. If we're getting on and just expressing our opinion and using our freedom of speech like we are supposed to have based on the Constitution of this country, then platforms that are sharing news and sharing social issues should not be blocking one side while doing whatever they can to encourage and boost the other side, because then you're affecting the entire country. You're affecting the political landscape. You're affecting the way people think. You're affecting the decisions that people make. And it's just not right. There's been so much this year about the election fraud. And, honestly, I'm not there. I mean, I watch the left media outlets, MSNBC, CNN. I watch Fox, which I think has become more centrist. It used to be very right. Now it's more centrist. And I watch things like Newsmax, which is obviously more right. With social media, you've got Facebook, you've got Twitter, you've got YouTube, you've got TikTok. They're more left. Then you've got new products out there like Parler. You've got MeWe. You've got these other platforms that are similar to Facebook now that are more right wing. And it's crazy. I mean, if you sit home and you watch MSNBC and CNN and you surf Twitter and Facebook all day long, and that's where you get all your information, you have a certain view of the world. And if you're someone that sits home all day and is on Parler and is watching Newsmax and maybe occasionally Fox and is looking at MeWe, and they're looking at, different the Gateway Pundit and different right-wing platforms, then you see a very, very different country. And it just shows the power that social media and the news media have over the American people, right? So anyway, I'm talking a lot today, and I made a big decision. I kicked Facebook to the curb. It's gone. I got rid of it. So, when I say I kicked Facebook to the curb, I got rid of it 2 days ago. It's deactivated. It will not be coming back. So that's my personal page. That is my Pussification of America page is now gone with all 70,000 followers that I had. And then the John DeVito Show page is also gone on Facebook. So if you're looking for that, you won't be able to find it. You can find it on all the other platforms that I have it on, which are pretty much all of them. But, for me, I felt it was necessary, where if I'm viewing a social media platform that is completely doing what they can to affect the way people think, to manipulate the processes we have in this country, then I can't be a part of that. I can't be a part of it. And, it's hard for me to even look at some of the other platforms. I'm new on Parler, and I'm looking at Parler right now. And, that is completely right wing. And again, I voted for Trump. I'm a Trump guy. But again, there's not too much balance on that platform either. So when you look at that platform too much, it's just like, wow, this is, this huge conspiracy, and it's 100% confirmed. And, when you look at those things, it affects the way you think as well. So, I mean, for me, I would like to believe in our country. I would like to believe that the United States of America is the greatest place on this planet. I would like to believe it's one of the few places where you can truly lead a free life. I would love to believe that our elections are fair and there isn't cheating. And again, that's probably not the case. I mean, if you look at, 2016, there were allegations of cheating. If you look at 2020, there were allegations of cheating. And, in my opinion, man, if we have proof, if we have tangible proof that there was cheating in any election, we need to do something about it. We cannot allow the cheating to change the fabric of this country. Because if we are living in a country where the people are truly supposed to be determining our leaders, then we don't really have a free country if that's not the case. I mean, already we have, all members of Congress can be in office for 40, 50, 60 years if they want. There are no term limits. They are in for as long as they want to be in, as long as people keep voting them in. And, it's just unfortunate that we have this group of people that are supposed to be representatives of the American people, but they're really not. They're representatives of special interests. They're representatives of their own political party. And many of them are bought and paid for. Now, I'm talking left and right. I'm not talking just the left. So if you're, one of my right listeners and you're like, that's right, John, go get them. I'm getting everybody. It isn't just the left. It's the right. The right are bought and paid for as well. That's why Trump calls them the swamp. We have a swamp and it's deep in Washington. But if in this country, if we're really going to be a democracy, if we're really going to be a shining beacon of the world, as I've heard before, if we're really going to be the most incredible free country that gives people opportunity on this planet, then number one, We need to have term limits for all of our politicians. They need to be out after a short period of time. I don't know why, with a country of 336 million people, we are allowing 537 people to dictate to us the way things are going to be. We need to start dictating to the 537 people that this is our country. We have voted you in. We want term limits. And if there is any proof whatsoever of fraud in an election, then the candidate that basically cheated needs to be tossed out. You're gone. So if that's 2016, if Trump cheated, Trump, you're gone. 2020, if that means Biden, you cheated, Biden, you're gone. And I mean, to me, it seems like there's a lot of proof out there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I watch too much of the right-wing platforms, and maybe I'm believing everything that's being sold to me. But man, all I know is that for me to live in this country and to believe in the government that we have, our voting needs to be safe. It needs to be secure. It needs to be honest. And it needs to be honest both ways. The American vote needs to be the American people voting in the candidates that they believe can best represent the people. And I'm not sure that's happening right now. So the first step I've taken is, for me, I do believe that Facebook is the most blatant of any platform I've seen in just being one way. Twitter's close. Parler, I haven't seen them censoring anybody. So with Parler, it's obviously a very right-wing platform, but they are not banning the left-wing people that come on. I mean, for me, if you're on Parler and you got people from the left coming in and they're ripping you for some of the things you're saying, that's America. That's America. You may not agree with them, but they should be allowed that right to get on that platform and to speak their piece. And that's one thing that this country was founded on. And I'm afraid that we're losing it. And, we can't, as American people, underestimate how serious it is for things like Facebook to, censor people. And, it's something that's happening every day, and they do affect all of us. And it does control the will of the American people. The one thing I'm going to miss from Facebook is, I remember years ago, I don't know how long ago it was, but it was before Facebook was big. I remember being very upset that I wasn't going to see certain friends of mine that I grew up with, friends I went to elementary school with, friends I went to middle school with, people I had fallen away from over the years. I was sad, thinking, I'm not going to see what these people's lives have turned out to be. Then all of a sudden, Facebook comes into the picture, and you're now keeping tabs with people you knew in third grade, and it's just crazy. Their husband and their kids and what they do for a job and what their lives are about. So that has been a very cool aspect of social media. But, for me to lose that aspect of it is hard, because I'm going to miss it. But I definitely think that for me, it is very difficult for me to continue on with any platforms that I think are hurting our country. And I do think right now that platforms like Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube are censoring the American people, and they are hurting our democracy, and they are hurting our country. So for my 53rd birthday, happy birthday to me. I dumped Facebook. I got rid of Mark Zuckerberg. So, Mr. Zuckerberg, you can control the world if you want, but you're no longer controlling this guy. I'm done with your platform. I'm done with your censorship. I'm done with the control that you are trying to send out to everybody in this country and everybody in this world. I have seen what your platform has done to this world, and it has added some good things. But for the most part right now, the things you're doing with your platform, that powerful platform, is counterproductive to what we all need in this country. So I can say, sayonara, Facebook. I'm done with you. See you later, Mark Zuckerberg. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out of my house, because you're not going to be back on my phone. You're not going to be back on my computer, and I am done with you. Now, if I see other platforms like Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube going more in that direction, if some of the new ones I'm following, like Parler and MeWe and, what was the other one? Clouthub, that I started following, if those go in that direction, you're gone also. You're gone. You're gone. And I encourage the American people to really think about what you're ingesting. Think about what you're watching every day. If you're watching MSNBC and CNN every day and getting all your news from NBC, and you're looking at Facebook, you're not getting the full picture. And it's the same thing for the people on the right wing. You're not any more special than the people on the left wing. If you're watching Newsmax and reading the Gateway Pundit, if you're looking at Parler, and if you're looking at MeWe, and you're not looking at anything else, then you are not seeing the full picture. And guess what? When that happens, the powers at be are succeeding because what they want to do, as I've said many, many times before, is they want to divide and conquer the American people. That's us, the American people, ladies and gentlemen. They want to divide and conquer us because when they divide, when the rich and the powerful keep us divided and they keep us fighting over different things other than where our money's going, then the people at the top of the food chain are stealing your money. They're spending it where they want. They're sending money overseas. They're doing the things they want to do with your hard-earned money. And we're down here fighting left and right. We're arguing with each other. We don't agree. They have a split. We're split left and right. We're split man versus woman. We're split black versus white. And that's what they want. They want us to be divided. They want us to be people divided. And we've got to be smarter than that. We've got to be smarter than that. I think we need to be a nation of people that can look past political parties and realize that those people that are running this country, they are here for us. They are our public servants. They are not our masters. We are their masters. And we need to take control of this country back. So if you're letting news stations, radio stations, if you're letting, social media platforms control the way you're thinking, it's time to sign off. It's time to sign off and do your own research. Figure out things on your own. Do not allow the powers that be to control the way you think, and do not let the powers that be separate you from your neighbor, separate you from your family, separate you from your friends. Because when they do that, you may be winning an argument with your brother-in-law, or you may be winning an argument with your neighbor, or maybe you're losing an argument with a coworker. But guess what? We're all losing. Whether you win or lose these small little battles, we are losing the war. We have got to be smarter than the people who are manipulating what is going on in this country right now. And right now, we're just not. We are just not. We are losing the battle. But I do think things like Podbean, iHeartRadio, the different podcasts that we have out there, certain social media platforms are allowing people to speak to each other like never before. One of the things I love about doing podcasts here on Podbean is I'll have people come into my show from Iran, from Iraq, from India, from China, from all over the world, from Africa. And it's funny that when you get them on, you see someone pop in from Iran or Iraq and you think, wow, we're not going to have anything in common. The bottom line is we have a lot in common. We have a lot in common, and you'd be surprised how much we agree upon when we finally get a chance to connect. So I think, we're all caught up in allowing our worldwide governments to try to decide, who we get along with, who we're friends with, who we're enemies with. When it comes down to it, the people have a lot in common. It's the governments that are controlling all of us worldwide that are creating these divisions and these separations and these wars and these different things that are going on. So anyway, today's my birthday, 53 years old. I've been chilling most of the day. I figured I'd get on and do kind of like a laid back podcast. But those of you that listen to me know me too well. I can't do that for very long. But I will say that, in closing this thing up, I'm going to keep it about a half an hour, with these ones where I record them privately. I don't generally go on for too long. My live shows, I do quite a bit longer. But, today I'm 53 years old. I'm happy where I am in my life. All in all, we live in a great country. We have a lot of amazing people in this country. I think a lot of people do care about making this country a better place. And, if you're feeling right now that you're powerless, that things are out of control in government, just remember the power is with the people. The power is with the people. It's taken me a long time to realize that, but I'm here at 53 realizing, who knows how long I've got left, hopefully 20, 30 years left on this planet. But, we do have the ability to make change in this country. So if there are things we don't like that are going on, if you're 23, 33, 43, do not feel like you don't matter. Do not feel like your voice does not matter. Your voice does matter. Your opinion does matter. And if you're out there and you're listening to my show and you're a big Biden supporter and I like Trump, that doesn't mean you and I can't be friends. That doesn't mean you and I can't find common ground. That doesn't mean that you and I can't work together, because most likely we're both very good people. Maybe we just see things a little bit differently, but that's okay. It's okay for people to see things differently if we can work together to make this country a better place, to make the towns you're living in a better place, to make whatever, your workplace, your school, whatever it is, a better place. We've got to relearn that the left, the right, people of different colors, people of different cultures, we can all work together to achieve a common goal of making your town a better place, your city a better place, your state, your country, this world a better place. And it doesn't have to be political. If you don't get along, I mean, why would I go and have a 30-minute fight about climate change with someone? Or why would I go have a 30-minute fight about abortion with someone? Or why would I go have a 30-minute fight over the death penalty with someone? That's what the masters in our government want us to do. They want us to argue about these issues that they've handed to us that we're supposed to differ on, and we're supposed to fight about it. I'm not taking it. I'm not taking the bait. I am not taking the bait. For so long, so many people, including me, have taken that hook, line, and sinker. I'm not taking it. And as the American people, hopefully we will all learn that we need to stop taking the bait of the American government and the people who are trying to control the way we think, and we need to start working together. So anyway, that's my birthday message for today. I got a little fired up like I always do. But hey, it's January 2nd, 2021. We're here. 2020 is over. Let's hope that 2021 gets us back on the right path again. We get a lot of stuff coming up over the next few weeks. I know January 6th is going to be a big day, the big march on DC. For me, I'm just hoping that march ends without any violence. I don't want to see violence. I don't want to see people on the left or the right getting hurt. I don't want to see fighting. Hopefully that big march that's going to happen on the 6th ends up being a peaceful march and not something that we're all going to have to regret after the fact. But hey, it's 2021. Let's all start working together. Let's try to put the political division behind us and see if we can actually, make this country a better place going forward. So for everybody out there, Happy New Year. I hope you're all doing well. I hope that we can all start going back outside, meeting with our friends, going to cookouts, going to parties, 4th of July parties. In Rutland, Massachusetts, where I live, we have a wonderful 4th of July celebration that they canceled last year for the first time since I've lived in this town. And man, that was a bummer. So I'm kind of hoping that gets back on track this year, and we just get back to life at some point. Oh, and I will mention, maybe I'll have her on real quick before I get off. She's not going to be on today, but maybe I'll schedule an interview with her. My wife, Dr. Cheryl, on Thursday got her COVID vaccine. So she had a bit of a sore arm for a couple of days, but that's it. No other symptoms. She's doing fine. And she has to go back in for one more round of the vaccine. But I mean, for me, I know a lot of people are afraid of the vaccine. I'm going to get the vaccine because if it's going to help me to get my life back to normal, and if it's going to help everybody get back to school and back to work and get the economy opening again and allowing us to socialize again, I'm down with vaccinating. So when I finally get my vaccine, I'll do a show and I'll talk about it. And I'll see if I can convince my wife to come on and talk about the vaccine that she got and how she felt after she got it. As a lot of you know, her name is Dr. Cheryl. She's a family practice physician, and she is now the chief medical officer of the community health center that she runs. And, she's a great doctor, great person, and was very courageous going out there and getting that vaccine. So I'm very happy to say that she's had no major side effects, because that was something I'm afraid of. Because let's face it, I've got 4 kids. And if I have to raise them by myself, I mean, they're going to all end up working in the circus, juggling or whatever. So I need my wife to keep things real around the house so our kids have a chance. So anyway, everybody, Happy New Year. Thank you for joining into the show. For every person that tunes in and listens to me and downloads my podcast and then comes into my live shows, thank you. I can't tell you how much it means to me. I'm finally living out this dream of broadcasting that I've had since I was in college. I got away from it. This has been fun. I love it, and I appreciate each and every one of you that comes into my podcast. So God bless all of you. Happy New Year, and I'll be back with live shows again all this week. All right? So for everybody out there, have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining the John DiVito Show, and happy birthday to me.